Hey there, I'm just going to review what Cholula and I worked on last Tuesday. So we went on over to the PetSmart as kind of a way of upping the challenge of walking in stores. She's been doing really well in the Home Depot, and I thought that PetSmart might just provide some extra distractions. And that happened as soon as we were walking up. There was a dog walking out who she got very excited to see. I don't really, even though they both had really nice body language, I don't really want to go meet another dog when we're in training. So I kind of called her away. And then we're going to try circling back to go through the door. This is also going to be a slightly different entrance than what we usually see at Home Depot. So there's going to be an interesting kind of response from her as we're walking in. And oftentimes, thresholds like doorways can be kind of a challenge for our dogs. So you can see she was doing a nice heel walk all the way up to the door, and then upon the door starting to open and us getting all the way in there, she kind of pulled forward. So I just said whoops and stopped. And then since she was really distracted, I went ahead and did it this way so we could turn around. And then reapproached the door together. In the second approach, we were successful in walking up there together, and we were able to then continue our way through. And as we walk through the PetSmart, you can see there's a lot of big distractions. This is much harder for her than the Home Depot, just because these are all things geared towards dogs and that are going to catch her nose a bit more. So it's definitely a little bit more challenging. So I'm having to either stop or change direction pretty often, just as kind of a game to keep her engaged and with me. And sometimes if she does stop and if she hasn't pulled out of position and wants to sniff, I'll occasionally let her kind of do a little bit of a sniff. But I'm trying to mostly keep her at pace with me. We're also going to stop a couple times because we're kind of getting near to other shoppers. And she was really excited to see people and wanted to say hi. And I wanted to see if she would be able to work while there's other people around. So right now we're in the back of the store, which also has the band field. So there's a lot of people right over there. And we're able to work a bit around them. So being able to focus and respond to cues around some bubbly people. So we're going to keep walking through, and there are going to be moments of difficulty because she wants to kind of sniff the food. And here I'm trying to just kind of wait her out so that I can continue to mark and treat and engage as she's able to stay pace with me or engage with me. But in the future, I might see about maybe using a leave-it or something to just help her when she's continuously getting distracted. But for today, I really want to see if I can just wait for her to make the good choices on her own. So we spend a lot of time just kind of walking through. But as we walk through and she gets her sniffs in and we're able to focus a bit more, I'm going to see if we can't get closer to people and start doing more work around people. And she is really cute, so we end up getting near some people, but she's doing a pretty good job of engaging with me. And then the people ask if they can pet her, so I say, sure, Cholula, go say hi. And she gets some extra pets. She is a little bit too excited and does a couple of little jumps, but for the most part is able to do a nice greeting with them. I do try to keep it short just to try to prevent any jumping or overexcitement, and then I'm just going to call her back, which she did a great job coming right back to me, and then we are going to continue on our walk. So here's what I mean about just kind of waiting for her to sniff and check back in. And then when she's able to check back in with me, I'm going to not just mark and treat, but see if I can also do a few treats in a row with some phrase words. So that way she's really kind of hitting a jackpot when she checks in with me. And this is just because I kind of would like for this to be just her default of her checking in with me often. But in the future, we might also add in a leave it or another cue to get her checking in more. There was someone coming up with a dog, so I wanted to get some more space. So I did end up doing some recall and hand touches down that hall just to kind of get her gaining some distance a bit quicker. And that worked really well. You see here the person and dog came again. And I just kind of recalled her away and then started marking and treating for her coming with me. So that could be another good alternative to a leave it, is just kind of recalling her and doing some name game to help re-engage her when there are some distractions like now. There's also going to be some people around this area of the store, and you can see she gets very distracted wanting to go say hi. These people are kind of more neutral towards her. They don't necessarily want to say hi, and also she's kind of getting excited and in this pattern of greeting if she sees a person. So I want to see if we can just kind of ignore the next few people and walk by, which is a little bit hard for her. So I have to do some recalls and some hand touches to kind of get her coming back to me. So you see her kind of go up excitedly, and then I call her back. We're going to find a quiet corner because I wanted to work a bit on her bow or bravo or downward dog. We're just going to work on this for a little bit because this is kind of a slippery surface. Just the laminated tile stuff. And this trick does take some core strength, and it can help to have more sure footing. But I wanted to see if we could just do some more practice of getting that kind of muscle memory, bending of the elbows going. And you can see she's starting off having some trouble. She is doing a nice bend of the elbows, but then continues into a down. So I'm also going to be practicing a stand a bit. So that's what you'll see when I have her in the stand and then kind of prop my hand back and forward again. That's called a reverse ear. And so the idea is that I'm going to have your treat ear out. And if you wait for it, I'm going to mark and then bring the treat to you. So the idea here is training the dog to wait for the treat to come to them instead of potentially getting ahead of themselves and reaching for the treat. And this is a really great way to train a stand, which is just kind of going to be our opposite to our bow or downward dog. But it also helps kind of get in the practice of this reverse ER, which can be handy because I want her, once she's in that bent elbows, I want to mark and then rapidly treat for that position before releasing her from that position. So you can see I can do the same thing. As soon as she bends her elbows, I can mark treat, move my hand, treat, move my hand, treat. And that way I'm starting to build some duration in this bent elbow positioning. And the hopes is that I can start to get more exaggerated bent elbows and more duration in this position before she goes into a down. And this is how we're going to start to build that bow a bit more. I want to end on a really nice one. because this is also one that she's just going to fatigue from pretty quickly because it's a more physical move. And so I want to just end on a nice good one, and then we will start walking again. What's also nice to see is that people are walking around in the background, but she's so engaged with doing some training that she is totally ignoring them. And then as we walk away, since we had just had a little short training session, she does a great job of ignoring people and engaging with me as we walk out of the store.